Okay, welcome to another 90-day challenge to grow a podcast business to make $100,000 while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast. And so the reason why I'm starting this challenge over is because now I understand how I can go about helping people, how I can go about helping new podcasters to launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from it. The biggest thing when I decided to do this challenge the second time, because the first time I went through the whole 90 days trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then over time as I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to do, it became overwhelming because it's like, dang, I'm only focusing on one particular thing, and at that time I was focusing on helping new podcasters launch their podcast and not knowing that I can help solve different problems within the podcasting space. And so it was so challenging and overwhelming for me because when I was offering solutions to launch a podcast, some people would come back to me and say, hey, I don't need help with launching my podcast. I need help with staying consistent with my podcast. I need help with editing my podcast. I need help with posting my podcast. I need help with managing my podcast. And so there were so many different things that I was struggling with because I didn't fully understand how to go about helping people launch their podcast or be consistent with their podcast. And it became overwhelming because I'm like, man, why can't I help anybody? Why can I not hit my goal, which was to make $100,000 in 90 days? This challenge for the third time is completely different, is because now I understand more of what I'm doing and how I can help others and how I can help others launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast. My motto is failure is knowledge, because you have to be willing to fail to gain the knowledge. You have to be willing to fail to gain the knowledge, and as you're gaining the knowledge, you're gaining the experience. This is my first time. This is not my first time doing this challenge. On the contrary, this will be the first time that I accomplished my goal of making $100,000 within the next 90 days while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast. And so my goal is to really show the behind the scenes, show the process, and show what it's going to take for me to accomplish this goal. And during this challenge, I'm going to be doing webinars. I'm going to be speaking to potential customers who's interested in launching their podcast, growing their podcast, and they're making money from their podcast. I'm going to be following up with them. I'm going to be posting on social media. I'm going to be marketing myself. I'm going to be growing a business. And then as I'm growing a business, I'm going to start bringing in more people. So the only way I can grow is for me to have a blueprint to follow, a way of doing things. And as a way of me doing things is going to help me do it every single day. Every single day, I'm going to be doing the same thing at the same time, doing the same work, doing the same work. I have to reach out to people. Excuse me. I have to communicate with people. I have to market myself. I have to promote myself. I have to speak about podcasting so much. And this is going to be great because now I'm understanding how to go about doing this. And it's going to be amazing because it's not my first time doing this challenge. I'm a example of failure is knowledge, because you have to be willing to fail in order to learn. I can only gain the knowledge when I'm able to believe in the effort that I'm doing, and as I'm putting the time and effort into it, I start to learn how to develop, grow, and evolve. I can only evolve when I'm willing to fail. Failure is knowledge, because you learn from your lessons, or you learn from your failure, and your failure becomes knowledge because you're able to learn and adapt to everything that you're doing. So I do want to give a recap on the second what is it called? Second challenge that I did. Before I do that, let me know where you're chiming in from. What's going on, chat? Tap in, chat. So that way, not only we get to know each other, we growing together, we developing together. And if you got any questions about how I came to this conclusion and why I'm doing this for the third time to accomplish my goal of making $100,000 within the next 90 days, while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast, let me know in the chat. Chat, we doing this. Chat, we gonna do it. Chat, we gonna reach this goal. So what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna recap the lessons that I learned from the second 90-day challenge and why I stopped during that time. And so this is going to be incredible because I'm going to be able to explain like my thought process behind everything and how everything was going at that time. So give me a second while I get my pen and marker out, so that way we can not only I can not only write on the board, but you can see what I'm speaking about as well. So let me move this right here. Let me move myself. Let me bring this up. Hold on, before I do, let me bring myself back. Let me bring myself back. There we go. There we go. All right. So make sure my pen is charged. We charged up. Confirm. Okay. Okay. Just to clarify. Okay, we good. We good. We good. So go ahead and do this. Dang. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so what we about to do now? I'm about to show my screen, so that way we can just recap of the lessons that I've learned in the first challenge. So that way I won't necessarily repeat the same thing. However, I'll be able to grow and based off the the second day 9-day challenge. We're gonna pick up from there and then just develop it more because it was a starting phase for us to get to the next point. So for this one, this is second 90-day challenge recap. Recap. Okay, so I started it. I don't remember the date I started, but when I started, I was excited. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna accomplish this goal. I'm gonna accomplish this goal." But what I didn't recognize is that when I started it, I was doing the same thing. Started challenge. I was doing the same thing that I did the first 90-day challenge. Was trying to figure out the type of business I want to have, how I can go about helping others. And it was a struggle for me because I was doing the same exact thing. I was figuring out on camera, I was figuring out on live, I was just figuring it out because it got to a point where it's so overwhelming that I'm like, dang, like nothing is happening for me. Nothing is changing. I'm literally doing the same exact thing. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, the type of business I want to have. Oh, while being on live, not that there's anything wrong with that. However, the challenge came from me understanding that if I want to have a podcast business, I have to already understand the type of business I would like to have. How I can go about having customers, how I can go about serving customers, how I can go about getting more customers. And over time, the 90-day challenge, it led to me having no results because I was doing the same exact thing. So when you do the same thing, leads to no results. However, when you switch up what you are doing, when you switch up what you are doing, as just as I'm switching up what I'm doing, I'm going to be marketing slash posting slash promoting myself more. There we go. Myself more. My message is clear. My message is clear. I'm clear. And I understand the problem I can solve. So, message is clear, which is helping podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast. So this is my message: helping podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast. Why am I going over this? Because at first, as I was going down, let me know where you're typing in from, chat. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. One thing that I struggled with during the second 90-day challenge, which I stopped at day 13, was that my message wasn't clear. I didn't know how I can go about helping podcasters. I knew I was helping podcasts, but I just didn't recognize how. And now, for the third time me doing the challenge, is that more clear behind it. I have my message is more clear. It's not, I'm not all over the place trying to figure out what I'm going to do and how I can go about helping people. I know exactly how I can help podcasters launch their podcast. I know exactly how I can help podcasters make money. Grow their podcast. And I know exactly how to help podcasters make money from their podcast. Why? Because I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it for me. And my biggest struggle was that I was trying to teach things that I wasn't familiar with. I was trying to teach things that I wasn't practicing. And my biggest thing as someone who's talking about podcasting is that, one, I constantly do podcasting. Two, I need to start growing I needed to start growing our podcast. And three, I needed to start making money from my consistency. How can you make money from something that you're already doing? That was a challenge for me because I didn't know how to do that. I didn't understand the skill that I was developing, nor I didn't understand how I can help others. As I continue to show up every day, I start to learn more and more and more and more. You discover more and more and more and more. The more you show up, the more you are present, the more you learn more about everything that you're doing. So the reason why the third challenge, the 90-day challenge to grow the 90-day challenge to grow a podcast business, making $100,000 while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcasts, grow their podcasts, and make money from their podcasts, all in the span of 90 days. And the reason why that's so important is because that's my mission, that's my goal, that's my target. And that's something that I'm aiming to work towards. Throughout the mentorships and programs that I've been attending, they say you have to set a goal. You have to do everything to accomplish this goals to ensure that you hit it every single day. And so that's my goal, is to hit the goal every single day. And I took 3 weeks off because I had to put the things into place, so that way, as it's into place, all I have to do is just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Whereas if I'm trying to set up the behind the scenes, trying to figure out what I want to do and how I can go by helping podcasters, I would never hit my goal. Now, I know for certain, I believe for certain I can't hit my goal. And I'm not going to stop until I hit my goal. Even if it take me a fourth time to hit my goal, guess what? I'm going to do another 40-day challenge, another 90-day challenge to hit my goal until I accomplish my goal. All these challenges are building on top of each other because now I'm learning more about business. I'm learning how to be more clear. I'm learning how to communicate. I'm learning how to deliver my message. I'm learning how to work with customers. I'm learning how to follow up with customers. I'm just learning the whole aspect of being a business owner. The only way I can be a business owner is if I put in my time, my energy, my money, my learning, and everything into it, because I have to be the one to discover how to have a business. And I can only do that by learning from other people, from learning from different programs, from learning from others. But now that it's time for me to implement, all the learning does nothing if I'm not implementing what I have learned. So my goal is to help you not only start implementing the action, but to work on the action that I'm taking today and explain everything that I'm doing. And so that's the recap from the second 90-day challenge, and why I stopped at day 13. I wasn't able to get no results. I only think I was able to work with no customers. However, I'm not gonna give up. I just had to stop doing what I was doing to figure out what I needed to do, putting certain things into place, putting certain emails, social media campaigns, and so on. Not campaigns, but so on and so forth. So the way I'm going to be posting is going to be different. The way I'm going to be showing up is going to be different. The way I'm going to be communicating is going to be different. because I'm more clear. Everything's gonna revolve around podcasting. Everything's gonna revolve around launching the podcast. Everything gonna revolve around growing the podcast. Everything in general is just gonna be about podcasting because I'm more clear about what I want to do. Reason being is because if I can go from zero to $100,000 while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast, I will have proof of concept. So far, within my whole time being in business, I've helped over 6 people. I've helped 6 people launch their podcast, grow their podcast. Not yet make money from it, but my goal is to actually do that as well. So that's the recap. What we're gonna do today is 8:50 right now in the morning. We're gonna post 10 videos, posts, pictures, and we're going to post it throughout the day, because if I can post 10 times a day for 7 days, that's 70 different posts going out. That times 4, which 4 weeks, that's 280. So if I can post 280 times per month by myself, when I have a team, my team should be able to post more than me, because now the team is only focused on one particular thing. So let me do basic calculations. Let me do a basic calculations of what I'm speaking about. So 2021, boom, 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 boom. All right, so let's do it. There we go. All right, so 10 posts per day times, let's put the multiplication right there, times 10 posts per day times 7 days a week equals 70 times 4 weeks equals 280 posts for the month, and 280 times 12, 280 times 12, 280 times 12, that is 3,360 posts. So 280 per year times 12 months equals 3,000 posts. 3,360 posts. Why am I doing that? Because if I market myself accordingly, if I put myself out there speaking about podcasts, showing different results, showing different ways that I'm communicating, showing different ways that I can help others, eventually I'll be able to get some customers from that, because I'm posting so many different things about podcasting. Eventually somebody will raise their hands. Eventually somebody will say, I would like to learn more. Eventually, based on people seeing and identifying what I'm speaking about, they'll be likely to work with me. So I want to market more. I want to put myself out there more. I want to communicate with customers more. I want to do and be out in front of so many different customers so quickly that I will be willing to hit my goal of making $100,000 within the next 90 days while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast. So I'm more clear. I'm more focused. And we about to get to work. We about to get to work. So that's what we're about to do. We about to get to work. Chat, let me know where you're tapping in from. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And even though I'm not sharing my screen at this moment, I'm going to communicate what I'm doing, so that way it's not complete silence. I'm going to track the amount of time it's taking me. And that's gonna be the starting point right there. So first, let me go and create some posts. Sorry, let me create some posts because it's already pre-created. I just need to put it in an Excel file to finish creating, so that it can finish create. So, excuse me. All right, so that what we're gonna do here. Excuse me. Export format. Yup. Current brew. Everything. There we go. All right, so what I'm doing now, I created a documentation with all new information, just speaking about the data of podcasting and why that is important. And so I'm going to create, like, it's called infographics, to where like it's a picture with information on there essentially. And this is not going to only help me create more content, but it's going to position me differently because people will be able to like get basic knowledge from podcasting. Like for instance, each episode is a page of your story. Keep writing, keep recording. Then this is a motivation card, brand aligned, frame podcasting as a personal archive and growth timeline. So I just want to be more consistent and strategic behind the way I'm posting content, because I want it all to be around podcasting. And by me doing that and focusing on that, my message will become repeatable and people will start to see and connect with podcasting, because I'm giving tips and information about podcasting. And just because I'm giving tips and information about podcasting, it should give people a blueprint and a level of understanding that they can launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast. However, I would like to be the go-to guy of podcasting, because this is something I'm going to that I'm going to continue to speak about. So that is the goal right now, and that is what we are about to do. And so now, I can show this part. I can definitely show this part. Hold on. I can definitely show this part. Let me get it together, though. Fly. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what I'm doing now, you can't even see it. I'm glad I just saw that. Alright, so what I'm doing right now at this moment is that I'm about to create different posts. Hold on, let me come back to this one. Okay. I'm about to create different social media posts, so that way I can not only stay consistent, but I can continue to speak about podcasting and why it is good and the benefits behind it. So I'm going to show my screen right now, and I probably can't do it like that because it's going to cut off. Yeah, I think it's going to cut off. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I just do it like this. There we go. So right now I'm on Canva, and I'm looking for like it's looking for something like a video where it has quotes and information on there. So okay. As a matter of fact, yep, I want it simple. I want it very, very simple. But I do want a video from it though. Or effects. Yeah, I want it very simple. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I want it very simple. That ain't gonna do it. Okay. Anywho, customize this. So what I'm doing at this moment is that I'm about to customize this so that way it can not only match what I'm doing, but it can represent everything that I'm doing. So that way I can do it on a consistent basis, be more consistent with it, and continue to deliver value. So my goal for this and posting across social media is to deliver value and speak about different things that will get different people attention to what I'm speaking about, what I'm doing, and so on and so forth. This will help me not only stand out, but it will help me make a difference because I'm speaking about podcasts, I'm giving podcasting tips, and I'm more focused on the delivery of podcasting. And that's the goal. That's the goal behind it, and that's what we're doing. Let me come back to the screen. So that way, there we go. That way, there we go. There we go. That way, I can stay consistent with the message, and the message becomes repeatable. So, let's do this. Let's do this. There we go. Remove. Can't see. There we go. As a matter of fact, excuse me. There we go. Boom, bow, boom. There we go. Alright. Now, I can show this. So on Canva, which is actually pretty cool. So this is a design that I'm currently working on. So this is the design. And on Canva, you can actually do like a bulk create where you submit like a huge database or a huge file with a whole bunch of information on there, and it will potentially create a new chart from it. Like I'm gonna show you in 1 second. Hold on. Yeah, I look for it now. Dang, I just had it. Okay, maybe I gotta. Oh, wait, is it right here? Oh yeah, it's right here. It's right here. There we go. Upload data. Alright, there we go. Okay, post. Okay, there we go. Be the hero. Okay, so instead of me, I need to create. This need to be. Okay, and then I need to upload this one. There we go. There we go. Bulk create. Type of post. Connect data. Post. Citation. Connect data. Citation. Alright, I'm not even sharing my screen right quick. Hold on. So real quick, so what I'm doing at this moment, So this right here is gonna multiply the amount of posts that I have. So this is gonna is for now. This is only one, and then for the second one, the citation is gonna be completely different. So the format is gonna stay the same. This gonna be there, the microphone will be there, but this and that is gonna change, and I think that is pretty cool because it saves so much time when you are trying to create a lot of posts, and throughout the post, it literally rinse and repeat everything, and so that is a great outcome from this, and it is phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, I'm coming back to the screen. Dang, I thought I can do that. Where's the? Where's the thing? It's not a video. Okay. I can't. Oh, right here. That is exactly what I'm looking for. That is exactly what I'm looking for. How do you extend? I don't know how to extend. Do they have their own effects? Where's the effects at? Oh, animate. There we go. Animation. No. Smart book. Alright. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Alright, so what I'm doing now is that I'm updating the picture slide forward so that way it can it everything can have the same format. How do you increase the time? Okay. Both. There we go. Alright, so we got our post. Let me come back to the camera so that way you can see what I'm doing. We have our post for those of you that's listening to this challenge. We are updating the post so that way we can speak more about podcasting, deliver value around podcasting, and just be more consistent with different types of content that we're producing. So that way we can connect with customers, we can communicate with customers, and we can actually show them everything that we're doing and how to stay consistent with everything and what our message evolves around. So we got our post and citation. That should be it. Continue, and we have 95 different posts is going to be created in a short span of time. And when I hit generate 95 designs, hopefully it goes well. But if it doesn't, I'm just going to adjust 95 different posts. Let's go. You ready? And we're going to generate. One design created and save. Oh, wait. Is it already created? View folder. Be the hero. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So I got minor tweaks to do on this, which is phenomenal. Which is phenomenal. However, it came out so great because now I have 95 different posts that has the same format, but just different posts on there, and that is amazing. That is amazing. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So now I just gotta update this. It's gonna take me a little minute. However, when once it's already done and once it's already like finished, I will have 95 different posts where I can post consistently. Not only with the amount of posts that I have now, but I can have additional videos, different posts, additional pictures, and so on and so forth. This is going to position me different because I'm offering and giving podcast information. I'm giving podcast advice and so on and so forth. And so when I recognize the importance of really giving value, these 95 posts is going to deliver so much value because it speaks about podcasting and it positions me as the authority to speaking about podcasting because I'm always talking about it. I have the citations, I have the research, and so on and so forth. So now that it's different, oh my goodness, it's going to be different because it's no longer about not bringing value. I'm bringing value in different ways. So this is what we're going to be doing. I know it's going to be like not even tedious or whatnot, but this has to be done. This has to be done because right now I'm at this moment I'm only a one person team. However, when this already is created, I'm gonna have to worry about anything else because my future team, will be able to come in and post on my behalf. But until that happens, I'm going to use systems, technology, social media to help me stay consistent while I'm doing everything at this moment by myself. But in the future, after this challenge, the goal is to not to do everything by myself. So this is what we're going to do. We're doing it right now. We're updating the changes, just making sure everything fits and it's not too overwhelming. It's not too out of the park. So that way we can just stay consistent with it. We can just stay consistent with the message. Like for instance, I'm working on this one and it says podcast ad revenue is expected to hit 2.5 billion in the US by 2025. And that was probably outdated because it's already 2025 now. So, just I have a majority of these is already good, but I just have to tweak a few of them here and there. So this is great. This is great. This is what's gonna help me stay consistent, man. And here are another 60% of podcast listeners. 60% of podcast listeners. God dog. 60% of listeners recall the ads they hear far above social or TV. God, dog, that was a tongue twister. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, this is good. Here go another one. It say only 4% of podcasters release weekly. Be the consistent 4%. That's actually pretty good. Only 4% of podcasts release weekly. Be the consistent 4%. I'm not even doing nothing too crazy. Like, they all have the same format, and it's just a lot more of the post that's speaking about podcasting. There we go. Podcast. Here go another one. Podcasting boosts brand trust, especially for niche voices. And this citation is from NPR Edison Trust Audio Studio. Audio Study 2022. Alright, here we go. There we go. Alright, here go another one. Over 70% of Americans now recognize the term podcasting. You don't think there's a demand? And this one's from Edison Research, Infinite Dow 2024. Alright, there we go. Here go another one. Smartphone. Hold on. Here we go. Smartphones account for 73% of podcast listening. Keep it mobile friendly. And this one is Super Listeners Report 2023. You see, my goal is to deliver value, but I can only deliver value when I understand the value that's being delivered. You know what I mean? Here we go. Yeah. Nah. Oh, just make it smaller. There we go. There we go. And then here go another one. Listeners average 9 podcast episodes per week. Keep them coming. This one by Super Listeners Report 2023. And it goes back to the one that we was talking about earlier about consistency. Only, what it say, 4% are consistent? Only 4% of podcasts are released weekly. Be the consistent 4%. Like, what? 4%? Are you serious? 4%? That's crazy. There, you have an advantage if you know how to be consistent. If you have a system behind everything that you're doing, if you're showing up on a weekly basis, like you can have an advantage over everybody because you're constantly showing up. You're constantly out there, and I'm understanding why consistency is so important. You can't make impact if you're not consistent with the impact that you already have. So my goal is to make a bigger impact, but in order for me to make a bigger impact, I have to start with what I have. You can only start with what you have, and recognize that it can only get bigger when you get more consistent. Then here go another one. It says podcasts now account for 9% of all U.S. audio time. Like, what? Come on now. What is audio? Audio is like podcasting. It's not just music. You got conversations going on in your ear, when you're driving, when you're going from place in your car. You can literally put on the podcast and just listen to what you're doing. Like, what? That is a cheat code. And just imagine if you part of the 4% that stay consistent. Oh my goodness, the sky will be the limit because there will be no limit. Like, what? This one says your first 10 episodes will teach you more than 10 courses. Just start. Actually, I can just put my name right there. Yeah. Your first 10 episodes will teach you more than 10 courses. Just start. All right. Now I'm on page 10. Here go another one. Over 50% of listeners say they found products through search. This one is Acast Podcast Discovery Report. Alright, so now I'm on number 11. I got 84 more to go. 84 more to go. This one say only 1 in 10 new podcasts can influence buying decisions, career moves, and beliefs. And this citation, this resource is from BBC Audio Effectiveness Study 2022. All right. Yeah, we get into it. We get into it. And once these are created, they will be created and I can use them for a lifetime. Depending on the ones that doesn't go out of it's not considered old. Here go another one on page number 12. YouTube is now the top podcast platform in the US. 34% use video. This one is Columbus Signal Hill Podcast Study 2024. So every now and then I just have to go in and update it, but it'll already be created, so it'll be easy to update. Be easy to change. Be easier just to have it when it's already there. See, I'm more clear and I'm speaking about what I'm doing because even though I'm speaking about it, I'm understanding the importance behind it. And in order for you to understand the importance behind it, you have to know that you have to be and create a way of doing things. Right now I'm on page number 12, page number 13. It say most successful podcasts serve a specific audience, not everyone. Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog. So if your podcast serves entrepreneurs like my podcast, which serves entrepreneurs, you have a niche. You can't reach out and serve everybody. However, you can serve a lot of somebodies that's in your same area of expertise. And that is a great lesson. Great lesson. Here go another one. 45% of podcast listeners are women, and that number is growing. Like what? That resource is Infinite Dial 2024 Edison Research. Like what? Like women need voices to hear, or not voices, but people to follow, people to learn from, or women to follow and learn from. But you have a niche market, especially if you're a woman, because if you're a woman, women are willing to listen to other women. Like what? That is a cheat code. I'm gonna tell my wife. I'm gonna tell her keep going. I'm gonna tell her keep going. Podcast fans trust the host more than influencers or celebrities. This actually gives you an advantage. Because if your fans trust you more, because you built a relationship with them, why can't you have a successful business? See, there's things and insights that's here that I'm like, that's golden. That is good. Page number 16. Weekly podcast listeners average 100 plus minutes of audio per day. What is this for? It's just to communicate with my audience on a different level, just because I want to continue to bring value. And the value that I'm bringing is going to be around podcasting, of course. However, I'm going to extend the value, not just around podcasts and me communicating. It's just really value and research that a lot of people already research about. But I want to be the go-to guy for podcasts and not just an influencer, if that makes sense. It say podcast ads don't interrupt, they integrate. That's the trust factor. And this was from IB Host Read versus Pre-Roll Study 2022. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm on 18. 18. Over 80% of podcast listeners stay tuned for the entire episode. And this one's from Spotify. Podcast Listener Behavior 2023. So if you have something interesting to speak about, if you're bringing value to your audience, if you're bringing value to your customers, there's no reason why they would not trust everything that you're saying. It's that 80% of podcast listeners stay tuned for the entire episode. This is where your leverage comes from because this is where your advantage comes from because you're able to communicate with your audience. Page number 19. I got 95 minus 19, however many more there's left, how many more that is. There are over 4 million podcasts, but only 156 published weekly. And this is from Buzzsprout 2023. Buzzsprout 2023. Buzzsprout is a hosting platform for podcasters who are interested in having a distribution platform. Distribution platform is kind of like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth, or X known as. And it's for, you have a place specifically for podcasts. So that way you can go across different podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other existing podcast platforms. Okay, I'm on page number 20. Page number 20. Most people stop at ideal. Podcasting reward those who start. There we go. And this was from Creator Psychology Insight Reports 2023. Alright. Page number 21. Every episode is your seed. Your voice will grow over time. You don't get better overnight. You get better over time. Align message. Okay. We here. Podcast listeners are 3 times more likely to finish a full episode than a blog post. Depending on your audience, Spotify Creator Research 2023. Excuse me. You communicate with your audience and meet them where they are at. When you meet them where they are at, they're able to read, listen, and watch your entire podcast episode. Podcasts build parasocial relationships. Your relationships, your audience feel like they. This one didn't finish. That one didn't finish. Hold on. Podcast ads, 4 million. Parasocial. Your audience feel like they. I didn't finish. Well, looked like that was gonna get replaced. That was gonna get removed. Okay. Podcasting is the most intimate media format you're in someone's ears. I literally said that earlier. NPR Audio Studies 2022. Like you're literally speaking to someone like I literally just said that. I didn't even know this one was in there, but you're literally communicating with someone on a deeper level, and they start to hear and understand you and hear how you communicate, hear how you speak, hear how you talk, hear how the guests talk and speak, and so on and so forth. That's an advantage. And this site from NPR Audio Studies 2022. It say podcast listeners are 80% more likely to take action after hearing a call to action. This is from Nelson Podcast Effectiveness Study 2023. Like, what? You literally have an advantage when you have an audience who trusts you. So why am I doing this challenge? I'm doing this challenge because I want to build an audience of entrepreneurs who trust what I'm saying based off what I'm saying, based off what I'm showing, based off what I'm speaking about, because I want to be the go-to guide for podcasting. I want to have a business around podcasting. But in order for me to do that, I have to be willing to have a business around podcasting. And so that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing for the next 90 days. And this is going to not only give me the advantage, but it's going to help me stay more consistent once it's already put together. Come on now. The next one says, we at page number 25. You don't need a studio to be successful. You need a message worth hearing. This one's from Podcast Lunch Toolkit Insights 2023. I actually like this one. I actually like that quote. You don't need a studio to be successful. You need a message that's worth hearing. And that's so true. That's so true. Like, what? Like, what, man? So when I communicate and share with you that I've been really focusing on how to bring value on a consistent basis, that's my goal. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing every day. Gabriel Beats, I appreciate you for coming in. Best viewers on Streambo. Alright, we on post number 26. Post number 26. There are more podcast listeners than Netflix subscribers in the US. Really? They say Edison Research. That's crazy. Than Netflix? Hold on, I gotta look this one up. What? That's crazy. I gotta read this one again. Let me see. I put it in Google. What? Yes, in the U.S. there are more podcast listeners than Netflix subscribers. Here's why. Podcast listenership in the U.S. is substantially. According to the various sources, the millions Americans. For example, one source states that over. Okay, say for example, one source states that over 144 million Americans listen to podcasts monthly. 144 million. Another source states that 34% of Americans are weekly podcast listeners, to roughly 11 episodes per week. Then here's the comparison, because I just Googled it, and then I also have a deeper dive with AI as well. So Netflix subscriber numbers in the U.S. are lower as of 2025. The United States has 81.44 million Netflix subscribers. While this is a large number, it is still significantly less than the various estimates for podcast listeners in the U.S. What? That's crazy. The direct comparison confirmed this. Several sources explicitly mention that there are more podcast listeners than Netflix subscribers. For example, one article states that each week more Americans listen to podcasts than have a Netflix account. What? Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, God, dog. Like, you can't. That's crazy. I ain't gonna even lie.
It's true. Podcasts are bigger than Netflix.
There's a video that say podcasts are bigger. I spent 6 years putting together this video. One podcast for those who started in this video. I present the case podcast data. That's crazy. Joe Rogan Show. Sure, the video revolution is here, but the podcast revolution has barely begun. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be something we can watch. That's tough. Yeah, that's tough. Dang. Like, what? I didn't even recognize that. Which one was I on? What did it say? There are more podcast listeners than Netflix. Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. And what if you have both? What if you have different things on there? Yeah, dog, that's crazy. That's tough. I didn't even recognize that, to be honest. Like, what? All right. Next one. Page number 27. 40% of podcast listeners are age 12 to 34. Start speaking to the next generation. And this one is Infinite Dial 2024 Edison Research. O'Reilly Auto Parts. God, dog. Don't trade. Dang, I forgot about that. God, dog. I'm going to reach out to them. Alright, so we're on page number 28. The best episodes solve a problem. Don't just talk, teach. And this is what this is going to do. You have to be willing to teach your knowledge and teach and help people and just teach, teach, teach. You can never overteach. You can underteach. When you underteach, you're not helping nobody. When you overteach, you're helping somebody. So teach, teach, teach. There we go. Your voice boosts your SEO. Google search audio index. This is tough. Page 30, we got 75 more to go. It's a podcasting is the only platform where long form content thrives. Like what? Like you never know when people find you, but when they find you, they find you. And I'm literally what I'm doing now, what I'm researching now, it's crazy because there's so much value that a lot of people don't understand the power of podcasting. And even though like podcasting might not seem like it's where it's at, but you're able to communicate with so many more people at a faster way. And my goal is to communicate with so many people in a faster rate, not only across social media, but just in person on podcasts and different platforms and so on and so forth. And so in order for me to actually do that, I have to study my industry. I have to study the industry that I'm in. And over time, I'll be the go-to research because of all the resource, all the studying, all the outcomes I'm able to receive. Alright, you're not too late. Here you go, another woo. This is good. 32%, you're not too late. 80% of shows have fewer than 10 episodes. So if you keep going, if you continue to be consistent, if you continue to show up and understand that you can have a business around your podcast, not only would you have a business around your podcast, you will be in the 4% of the people that show up on a consistent basis. And that gives you so much of an advantage. Like it literally, like what? All you have to do is just be consistent. It sounds easier than done. On the contrary, when you have a way of being consistent, you can be consistent more frequently because you have a way of doing it. You're not just doing it for the heck of it. In fact, I'm not just being consistent for the heck of it. I have a reason why I want to be consistent. And for me to be consistent, I have to actually continue to be and show up every day. For the next one, page number 33, audio content increases memory recall by 30% over written content. Audio Cognitive Studies 2023. 34, page 34, start recording. I like this one. Start recording, learn along the way. The mic will teach you what you need. This is actually really good. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. go. Tap in, chat. Let me know where y'all chiming in from. Alright, so page 35 wants to grow your brand. Start talking about your beliefs, not just your business. This is a lesson that I had to learn because not only are you talking about podcasting, you have to like really put your personality to everything that you're doing because people want to follow you. Yes, like your business can be one particular thing, but it's not just that one particular thing that you are made up of. Like you have your childhood life, you have your life, you have your friends, you have your habits, you have things that you do on a consistent basis. Like for instance, I just finished a documentary and it's called Starting with the Dream documentary. And I put this documentary together because it was something that I had a desire to do, to show the process, to show the story, and to really put it together. It was overwhelming to put it together. However, I put it together and it taught me so much more about myself. I'm not just a podcaster. I'm not just a brother. I'm not just a son. I'm not just a football player. I'm not just an author. I'm not just a speaker. I'm so many more things. And when you're speaking about all the things that you are able to communicate with your customers in a different way. You're able to connect with your audience on a deeper level. And they start to learn you as the person. You as the person becomes the voice. You as the person, as your voice is becoming the person, becoming the influence, everything around you is being impacted by the way you communicate, by the way you show up, and by the way you connect with others. And this is a lesson that I'm currently learning, but it's a phenomenal lesson to understand. Personal branding podcast tips 2023. There are 500,000 active podcast listeners in major cities, and this is from Edison Research. Why am I doing this challenge again? I'm doing this challenge again because I would like to grow a podcast business making $100,000 while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast. But in order for me to do that, I have to be willing to show the process of what it's going to take to not only launch your podcast, but to keep it consistent, to keep it maintained, and to really know how to make money from it. I want to help 100 podcasters like you launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast. If you're interested in launching your podcast, growing your podcast, and make money from your podcast, shoot me a message down below, and I would love to see how we could potentially help you not only launch your podcast, but grow your podcast and make money from your podcast. Shoot me a message, and we'd love to see how we can help you get to and accomplish your goal. We on page number 37. We almost halfway there. It say podcasting is projected to grow faster than radio, print, and combined. Projected. I want a simpler word than that. A simpler word than that. I want a simpler word than projected. Well, I'm going to keep it for now. This isn't a trend. Podcasting is a movement and you belong in it. I like this. Podcast Movement Summary Insights 2023. This isn't a trend. Podcast is not a trend. It's going to stay here and be here forever. I believe the first podcast got established around like 2007 when Steve Jobs had and developed the the Bluetooth iPad, the MP3 player, and since that time, podcasting has been growing and developing. Has it been 2007? Has it been since 2007? Podcasting began early 2000s, 2004, 2005. Yeah, because podcasting and broadcasting became together, so that way people can carry it around on their phones, listen to it, and so on and so forth. Which was actually great invention. They knew something that we didn't, but now I'm learning something that I didn't know. We on 39. Your message can reach the world from your phone. Start with what's in your hand. I like that. I like that. I like that. Because that's true. Like, you can literally reach so many different people based, like, what? You have a cheat code to communicate with so many different people, to reach out to so many different people. Like, it gives you the advantage. Like, what? It gives you the advantage. And this one is DIY Podcast Production Reports. Microphones do not need degrees. That's crazy. It don't. Microphones don't need degrees. Your experience is enough. Oh my goodness. That's actually pretty good. God, that is good. Your experience is enough. That's crazy. That's tough. Podcasts outperform social media in long-term brand trust. I definitely believe that because I believe they all work hand in hand, but podcasts and YouTube, they just last longer than any other platform. Like, your content is gonna always be there, and it just give you an advantage to not only stay consistent, but to be in front of your potential audience and community while they're consistent. This citation is from Nissan, if I said the right, Audio Trust Metrics Report. When you here go another one. When you share your story, someone else gets the courage to share theirs. This is crazy. This one is from Storytelling Impact Psychology 2023. And when you have your own platform, you can share as much as you want to share. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I said, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Alright, there we go. No one can tell your story like you can. That's your superpower. When you get confident in sharing your story becomes your the way that you connect with others. Yes, it's a great marketing tool, but you have to be confident to share your story. You have to be confident in sharing your flaws. You have to be confident in sharing yourself, because if you're not confident in sharing yourself, your story is not going to matter because you're not the one that's sharing and putting yourself out there. Share your story, share your superpower, and grow your audience, because your audience comes from connecting with you, and you are the connection that people want to connect with. All right, page 44. Podcast listeners stay for connection, not production value. Oh my goodness. And this one, podcast retention study 2023. Like, what? Oh, this is crazy. Like, do you not understand? Like, podcasts, this is to stay for connection, not production value. It doesn't matter what you have, as long as your value is helping someone. Like, that's all that counts. Your message has to be willing to help somebody. Here go another. Your audience wants progress, not perfection. Your audience want progress. They want to see you grow. They want to see you develop. They want to see you evolve. Not progress. That's pretty good. Your podcast can be a legacy, not just content. It can start with you and grow to something different. My goal is to actually have like many podcasters around me who's not only looking to grow but expand, but really have a network around podcasting and really helping people get to the next step. Of, in order for me to help them, I have to learn how to help them. So I'm the blueprint. I'm the example that I'm creating, and then over time I'll be able to help so many other people just follow the same blueprint. So that's my goal. That's what we are working towards. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Alright. Here go another one. Hello? Oh, this is good because I literally got asked about this question a while ago. I literally got asked about this question when I was about to do a podcast. And during that time they asked me like how many times how you went viral. I was like, to be honest, I don't focus on viral because if I try to focus on going viral, then I'm going to be stressing myself like crazy. And this quote right here says you don't need to go value. I'm sorry. This quote right here says you don't need to go viral. You need to be valuable. Oh my God. And the citation from this one is Podcast Monetization Reports 2023. You don't need to go viral. You need to be valuable. Shout out to my wife because she always be like, you gotta provide value. You gotta provide value. You gotta provide value. I'm like, baby, I'm trying to provide value, but I don't know the value that I'm providing. But she was like, that doesn't count. You have to provide value. Shout out to my wife. 15-minute podcast can carry more impact than a 90-minute video. And this is from Audio Retention Reports. And so what I'm about to also start doing is really posting more rather than just long podcast videos. I'm about to really just continue to like put out short videos, 15-minute, 5 to 15-minute podcast, and so that way I can not only connect with people on a shorter span, I connect people on a longer, shorter, and then they like I'm constantly growing. So I'm going over this to say I'm practicing when I'm preaching because I'm going to be improving what I'm doing, and this is gonna give me an advantage because I'm going to be improving what I'm doing. Then my audience will grow a lot faster. Then I'll be able to help so many podcasters launch their podcasts, grow their podcasts, and make money from their podcasts. So we're gonna come right here. Podcast episodes can become blogs, social clips, and email content. And the site for this is Content Repurposing Frameworks 2023. Your one episode, and I literally went on ChatGPT just to ask how many different forms of content can a podcast create, and it literally gave me 25 different options. And the 25 options, I wasn't even aware of all 25. Like, that's so crazy. You have one episode that can become so many different things. And even though it's becoming so many different things, it gives you the advantage because you can meet your customer where they are at. Like, what, bro? That's crazy. That's crazy. You literally can create so many different things from a podcast episode. Like, that's mind blowing. Like, what? Rigo, what's up, brother? What's going on, brother? Hopefully you can hear me. There should be a way where I can literally put. I don't know how to do that just yet. I don't know how to do that. It's cool. But yeah, that's mind blowing. Like 25 different pieces of content that you can post from one podcast episode. Like, what? That's I don't know. That's crazy. You ever been speechless? Like, dang, like you can literally do that? That's bizarre. All right, page number 50. Here we go. Another one. Podcasting builds brand identity through tone, rhythm, and repetition. This is from Sonic Brandon 2022. What does that mean? The more you have rhythm, the more you have rhythm, the more you build your brand. The more you build your brand, the more you build your tone. The more you build your tone, the more repetitive you become. Hold on. Mic drop. Drop the mic. Drop mic. You know what I mean? There we go. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good, though. That's actually pretty good, though. 51. Okay. Rigo, if you still on, man, how's your leg going, brother? Okay, 51. Speak like, okay. We on 51. We got 95. What's that? 44 more to go. 44 more to go. We started at 1 and going to 95. Let's go. All right, it's a. Oh, I like this one. Speak like you're talking to one person. That's how you reach thousands. Oh my goodness. I literally had this thought process. I was like, the customers that I'm serving today, I'm going to only focus on serving them today. Like, I'm going to really give value and be consistent and really help them not only launch their podcast, but grow their podcast and make money from their podcast. Because if I can help one person get from point A to point B, I can help thousands of people get from point A to point B. But my goal is to help one. Like this, was speaking like you were talking to one person. Oh my God. This is golden. And this is Podcasting Best Practice 2023. Why am I going over this? Why am I speaking about the posting I'm going to be posting and how I'm going to stay consistent and how I'm going to bring value? Because my goal is to make $100,000 within the next 90 days while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcasts, while helping 100 podcasters grow their podcasts, and why also helping 100 podcasters make money from their podcast. Because if I can help a small group of people, I'll be able to help a whole bunch of more people. So we get to it. We get into it. Speak like you're talking to one person. That's golden. That's tough. That's tough. All right, here we go. All right, 52. Create for one person. Oh, yeah. This is actually pretty good. And this citation is from Audience Clarity Workshops 2023. Create for the person you used to be. That's your target audience. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you know who you used to be? Do you know where you used to be? Do you know how you were? See, my biggest challenge a while ago was really understanding the value that I bring to others. How I can help others. I'm not only helping them, but I'm helping them in a way where I needed the help or where I got the help. And it was so confusing to me. I'm like, dang, like how does this become a business? How do you help somebody if you've been there before? Well, it gives you advantage because you can help them because it's somewhere you've been. It's something you've done. It's something you have experienced. If you can help someone see their vision, see themselves, see their growth, then you can help them become someone better. You can help them become their own subordinates. And it was a major. It took me a long time to learn this lesson because I'm actually about to start speaking in different schools as well. On the contrary, it took me the lesson to learn it. It took me time to learn it, but I understand the value that I can bring and how I can help others. Not only be more confident in themselves, but believe and pursue everything that they have in mind for themselves. Great lesson. That was a great one. Okay. 53. Ooh, I like this one. All right. Citation is creators. What's that? Content Creator Skill Report 2022. Podcasting teaches leadership. Speaking regularly. Oh dang, it cut off. Hold on. I actually like that one. That was pretty good. But I think it's cut off, so I might have to cut it. These prices way too high. You need to cut it. Cut it. Dang, I gotta stop singing this stuff. Podcasting on platforms. Start recording. Dang, gotta delete that one. That was a good one. Well, not no more. Most people wait for the right time. Leaders start before it's perfect. I like that. And it's from Behavior Studies on Risk Taking. Most people wait for the right time. Leaders start before it's perfect. Alright. Podcasts outperform blogs in trust, recall, and action. Audio. Wait, is it being repeated now? Oh no, it's not. I was about to say, dang. No, but it's not. It don't look like it's repeated. All right. 55. We got 40 more to go. All right, let's get it. Here go one. This is actually pretty good. The best podcast advice: start. Keep showing up. Let the mic shape you. I like that. I like that. That's tough. I like that. The best podcast advice: start. Keep showing up. Let the mic shape you. Like what? That's tough. And this like from Creator Community Insights 2023. Here go. Psychology of storytelling. A powerful voice comes from a vulnerable place. Share what shaped you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Let me tell you why it's crazy. It's crazy because I literally wrote a book and it's titled Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset. Shout out to Noor Publishing House. She helped me publish. They helped me publish the book and put my previous experience into a book. In fact, the book is right here on brand, on the same colors, and it say Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset. And this advice that's right here that I'm going over, it literally states a powerful voice comes from a vulnerable place. Share what shaped you. When I produced or wrote that book, that's crazy. When I wrote that book, I literally went through a hard time. I literally went through a moment when I didn't fully understand why I had to go through it. But what I got from it was a book. What I experienced was more confident. Was what I discovered was that I was okay. If you haven't purchased a copy at Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset, please go purchase it on Amazon and type in Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset. And or go to 10tipstoshiftyourmindset.com and get your copy today. That is golden. That is golden. A powerful voice comes from a vulnerable place. Share what shaped you. Psychology of storytelling. I actually want to watch a video on that because that's tough. Psychology of storytelling. PHY. Psychology of storytelling. Yeah. Yeah. I'm about to watch that. Well, not now, but God, dog, that's actually pretty good. Signs of storytelling. How to read anyone. Yeah, that's tough. That's crazy. That's crazy. Alright, here go one. Don't chase applause. Create to help. The people meant for you will find you. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's so tough. That's tough. Dang, it's tough. Don't chase applause. Oh, don't chase applause. Create to help. The people meant for you will find you. Like what? Come on, your stories, your true self will bring the audience that's willing to listen, to grow, and to really work with you. But they only can work with you if you are showing up. Page 58. We almost done. Alright, podcast listeners want connection, not perfection. Speak from the heart. As I was doing my documentary and I was doing and interviewing, I think 7 people, and each interview was up to an hour long, hour and some change on the average. And when I interviewed Noah Publishing House, Cheryl Prince, the CEO of Noah Publishing House, Cheryl Prince, and when was communicating, I literally asked, I said, to be honest, I don't know where the book came from and where I was speaking about, because the book is ahead of its time. As I read it and read different things in it, it surprises me what's in it of Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset. And she proceeded to say, it comes from the heart. What you go through this is building your resilience, and you're able to communicate because it comes from your heart. When you are pure and deliver your message from the heart, people will connect with your heart because they're able to understand what you are going through. That was a major breakthrough moment during that time, because it literally gave me a different perspective of how I'm not only helping others, but I'm inspiring others to chase what they desire. In a documentary, or starting with the dream documentary, you have to have a dream. You have to have a thought. And when you have a dream and a thought, you have to act on a thought. Shout out to Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Martin. Shout out to Dr. Reverend Shout out to Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And he started with the dream, or he had a dream. And I wanted to start with the dream, because when you started with the dream, you're able to make a difference. But first, you have to start with the thought. You have to take the thought and put it out to the universe, and the universe is going to give you what you are looking for. I'm a relationship with God. God is going to give me what I'm looking for, and it's going to position me differently. I have to be okay with starting with a thought and let the thought grow into what it's going to become. That is golden. That is golden. Like what? Page 59. Your growth won't be overnight. However, it will be worth it. Ooh, podcast growth curve reports 2023. Like, I never understood how valuable podcasting was until I actually started doing like research and reading and going to school, going to different groups, being in different like masterminds, communities, whatever the case is. Just understanding like there's a business that's inside of you, but to pull the business outside of you, you have to learn how to do it. That's what this challenge is going to consist of. How to pull the business outside of you. When I'm starting with the business of podcasting. And this goal is to inspire aspiring podcasters to not only launch your podcast, but to grow your podcast and to make money from your podcast. But in order to make money from your podcast, you have to have a business around your podcast. So that's the goal of it. That is the goal of this challenge. So here go another one on page number 60. We are almost done. Your voice might be the one someone needs to hear today. Record it. And that is from Mental Health and Podcast Connection Study 2022. You never know what you are going to say that will make a difference in someone's life. But if you don't say it, how do you know that you're going to help this person if you never communicate? Oh my God. I've been battling myself of speaking out more and going to different speaking engagements and so on and so forth. I feel like I'm being selfish. I feel like I'm being selfish because I'm not speaking enough. I feel like I'm being selfish because I'm not helping enough. I feel like I'm being selfish because I'm not communicating to a lot more people. Having a self-reflection moment right now. Alright, here go another one. We on page 61. Build your podcast like a conversation, not a commercial. Ooh! Well, this was from Podcast Trust and Tone Studies 2023. Build your podcast like a conversation, not a commercial. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. I can't even. That's tough. God, dog. You ever hear something be like, wow, that was actually pretty good. All right. Here go another one. Listeners. There we go. Listeners will forgive bad audio. Period. Hello. Here go another one. Listeners will forgive bad audio. They won't forgive bad energy. Because people will feel it. People will identify it. And people will call you out. And this is from Podcast Retention Reports 2023. Your audience wants to feel seen. Use your story to reflect theirs. What? This is from Storytelling Psychology Reports 2023. Dang, that's pretty good. Your audience wants to feel seen. Use your story to reflect theirs. Use your story to reflect theirs. What does that even mean? How do you use your story to reflect their story? See, now I got questions. How do you... So now I'm on ChatGPT looking this up so I can get additional resources and get additional information. No, I do not want to do it right here. I actually want to open up a different one. New chat. How do your audience wants to feel seen? How do you use your story? How do you use your story to reflect other, to help them feel seen? Okay. The question I just typed in ChatGPT is, how do you use your story to reflect other stories to help them feel seen? And it's giving me out information right now. I'm gonna wait till it's done. First example, using your story to reflect others' stories is one of the most powerful tools for building trust, connection, and transformation. Especially when you're teaching, coaching, or leading, here's how you do it. Start with the emotion, not the details. People connect through feelings first. When sharing your story, highlight the emotion you felt during your low points. Fear, doubt, shame, confusion, or feeling like you weren't enough. This allows others to silently say, that's how I feel too. Dang! Mirror their internal struggles. Mirror their internal struggles. Use the language your audience uses to describe their pain. Even if your circumstances are different, the emotion and inner conflict can match theirs. God, dog. Okay, here's the example. I wasn't sure if I was even meant for this, and I kept asking myself, who am I to try this? Now, you're not just story. Hello. Now, you're not just telling your story, you're telling their story through your experience. What? Now that makes sense. So turning point, not the finish line. Don't focus only on your success. Focus on the decision that shifted everything. This makes your story feel relatable and reachable instead of intimidating. I don't have it all figured out, but I have made a decision that my fear wasn't going to lead me anymore. That moment helps others feel like they can make the same decision too. What? That's crazy. Make it about them by asking questions. After you share a part of your story, ask, have you ever felt that way too? What's the version of this in your life? What decision are you ready to make now? This makes your story a mirror, not a monologue. Wow, that's crazy. Repeat the pattern. Vulnerability, truth, innovation. Be vulnerable about what you face. Share the truth you learn through it. End with an invitation for them to reflect or act. I thought I needed to be perfect before I started, but I learned I just needed to begin. And as I grow, and grow as I went. If that's you, where you are right now, what's stopping you from starting? Dang, yes. Oh my goodness, that's tough. Yeah, that's crazy. Like you wouldn't even think why that's so important, but that's really so important. That's really so important. Oh, somebody coming on the TikTok. All right, so um, that's actually pretty good. It gave me a different perspective, God. The more you learn, the more you don't know you learn. Or I had to do some research on that one. That was actually pretty good. That was actually pretty good. It was unexpected though, but that's pretty good. Okay, 64. Long form content is your edge. It's where Lord T is built. It's pretty good. Podcast listener Lord T reports 2023. I'm sorry, 2022. We on 65. We got 30 more to go. Alright. There's no competition when you're in your own lane, on your story. I actually like that, to be honest. There is no competition when you are in your own lane. Here you go. Another one, the secret to podcasting success. Start. Keep listening. Host training and listener feedback. It's pretty good. All right, here we go. Your podcast, I'm on 67. 67, ladies and gentlemen. 67, chat. Talk to be nice. Talk to be nice. All right, here go another one. Your podcast is a digital legacy. People may replay your words for years. I actually have proof of that, to be honest. Recently somebody had like the video that I had put on YouTube a while ago. This video was like 2-3 years old, but it was a video of me like getting ready, getting dressed to go out, and I think it was a pretty good video. However, the video looked extremely old. Nonetheless, there was a person who commented on the video like a week ago. But mind you, I posted this video 3 years ago, but the person saw this video and commented 2 years later. So this one right here, your podcast is a digital legacy. People may replay your words for years. People may see your videos or podcasts for years to come. But when it's out there, it's already out there. So keep being out there. Hmm. All right. You don't need to be an expert, just someone who's honest. That's good. That's good. Creative confidence. Your silence won't serve you. Podcasting help you progress and grow. Therapeutic Media Studies 2023. There we go. Now I'm on page number 70. We almost done, chat. We almost done, chat. Here go another podcast. Listeners love transparency. Don't hide your lessons. And it's from podcast listener feedback analyst 2023 analysis. Audio builds trust. That's why people stay subscribed for years. Audio loyalty metrics report 2022. Alright, there we go. Page 72. The most downloaded, hold on. The most downloaded show solves problem people Google daily. I'm gonna have to SEO and podcast topic research reports. Yeah, I'm gonna have to increase. I'm gonna have to improve the way that I'm doing my podcasting as well, so that way I can not only speak about different things, but I can speak about what people are already searching. All right, 73. 73. Hold on. All right, so let me come back to it. Your story may feel, oh, this is good. Hold on. Psychology of storytelling reports. God, dog, these are some great insights. Hold on. Your story may feel messy now, but someone else needs it in this form. Oh my. Oh. Do you not know how many times, like, I've thought that my story did not matter, or I thought that my story wasn't going to make a difference, or I thought that my story wasn't good enough? Excuse me. Then, like, when I put together the Starting with the Dream documentary, and once it's together, okay, now I have to tell people about it. Now I have to communicate with others to say, hey, can you watch it, just to give me your feedback on it? And as people are watching the documentary, I'm literally getting feedback like, man, this is a great story. Man, your story is impactful. Man, you're so resilient. You're able to push through everything. I didn't recognize the power of my story. Even when I wrote Master Your Mind, 10 Tips to Shift Your Mindset, it was me identifying the type of story that I would like to deliver and who I was showing up as, and to really be confident in myself. And even though I've had failures on this podcast for over a half a decade, 5 years, it gave me a perspective that I'm not only sharing myself, not only sharing my story, I'm sharing my different experiences. And I didn't understand that I was connecting with the audience at the time that they needed to hear it. And so this is a great lesson, because I definitely feel it. I definitely like can connect with it, and this is another reassurance. Like, dang, like, you people need to hear how you overcame where you have been. because that gives them hope. And so when I start speaking at different schools and different programs and so on and so forth, I know it's something that people need to hear. I know it. But at first I had to build the confidence in my say to say, I know I'm delivering value. I know I'm delivering myself, and I know I'm helping others. So this is great. This is great. Podcast listeners value relatability more than credentials. And based off of what I just went over, this is from Super Listeners Test Survey 2023. You have to be relatable, but you have to learn how to deliver your relatability so others can learn from you, grow from you, and connect with you. So connecting with you is the most important thing that anyone can ever do, because if they connect with you, they have a relationship with you for a long, long time. So it's crazy. It's crazy. This right here is just give me a whole bunch of perspective of a mindset shift, to be honest. Page 75, we have 20 more to go. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it on a podcast, because your friends are listening to you. And if you really think about it, your friends are listening to you. So on your podcast, your friends are your audience, and your audience is listening to you. When your audience listens to you, you have influence. Oh my goodness. Woo! Okay, here go another one. Give yourself permission to grow in public. Podcasting is your practice. God, dog. And the site and the resource from this is Creator Journey Reflections 2023. This is golden. Your podcasting is your practice. That's crazy, bro. Like, what? Now, I know many of you have probably asked, did I put all this together? Yes, I did. However, you can still put stuff together and forget it. And I put it together with the help of ChatGPT. Nonetheless, you forget certain things. And just reading and just going over it, and it helps you. It gives me a different perspective. Your featured audience is waiting for your first episode. Press record. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. My first podcast episode on the Failures Knowledge podcast was me recording my episode, and I didn't even have a camera on. I had the camera off. I just had my logo on the screen. And it took a lot of courage, a lot of effort to press record, because I didn't like the way I sounded on the computer. And not knowing the way I sounded, there was nothing wrong with it. I just was insecure. I just didn't like myself. I just was doing something new for the first time. And so when I was doing something new for the first time, I became hard on myself. What a great lesson to not be as hard on yourself. Just press record and you get better over time. And you get better over time. Alright. Audio content is processed faster than the brain. Faster by the brain than reading. This was cognitive processing study. This resource is Cognitive Process Study 2023. Okay. 79. We almost done. We are almost done. Podcast success frameworks. I'm sorry. Hold on. All right, so we go page 79. There's no such thing as the perfect podcast episode, only a consistent one. And this is from Podcast Success Frameworks 2023. Each episode is a page in your story. Keep writing, keep recording. That's actually pretty good. Alright. We almost done. We're on 81. 81. Alright. Audio holds emotional tone better than text. Listeners feel what you say. And this one is from Voice Emotion Study 2023. All right, 82. Most people scroll. Podcasts listen to stay. That's what trust builds. This was from Podcast Retention versus Social Scroll Rates 2023. All right. We almost done. We almost done. People are craving real voices, not polished scripts. Yours is enough. Listener feedback insights 2023 is the resource. Why am I going over these? And I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So I'm going over these because my goal is to have a podcast business within the next 90 days, making $100,000 while helping podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast. And our goal is to help 100 podcasts not only launch their podcast, but grow and make money from their podcast as well. So that is the goal. That is the reason why we're doing this challenge again for the third time. The second time I started to do this challenge, I stopped at day number 13 because I was doing the same exact thing and nothing was changing and helping me become and help more people. And so this is my third time doing the 90-day challenge to make $100,000. Nonetheless, I live by the motto of failure is knowledge, because you have to be willing to fail in order to gain the knowledge. When you gain the knowledge, you become someone different. So you have to become someone different in order to grow, develop, and establish yourself. Page 84. Podcasting isn't about having a big platform. Hold on, I said that wrong. Podcasting is not about having a big platform. It's about building consistent message. God damn, hold on. Podcasting isn't about having a big platform. It's about building a consistent message. It's about building a consistent message. It's about building a consistent message. 85, we got 10 more to go. Alright, this one is podcast unless you be a leader before the world sees you as one. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, that's crazy. The resources emerging creator study 2023. There we go. What if page 86? Oh, we got 9 more to go. Let's go. We got 9 more to go. Chat, let me know if y'all been tuning in for the whole 96. Let me see. 90. Because I had to delete some. 92. Oh, that's crazy. It's 92 though. It's 92. I deleted some because they wasn't complete. Nonetheless, we are getting to it. 86. So I don't have 9 more to go. 6 more to go. 6 more. Here go another one. Oh, this is good. What if your biggest failure is the very thing your audience will thank you for? And that resource is Transformational Storytelling Research 2023. In other words, failure is knowledge. In other words, failure is knowledge. All right. Your podcast might help someone. Hold on. Your podcast might help someone you'll never meet. That is the resources, audience, influence, reach. Hold on. The resources, audience, influence, and research. Reach Research 2023. God dog, that was a tongue twister. Your podcast might help someone you never met. This is actually pretty true. Some of the people that comment on the podcast, that comment on the post, that comment on anything I'm posting, I've never met these people before. But they come in and say, this. Oh, I literally had one person say, I don't know who you are, but your post, your podcast came across my page and you helped me. What did it say? You helped me get started or not over. Oh, no, it helped me focus on time management. Yeah, it was about time management. Like, it helped me focus on time management and not be all over the place. That was actually pretty crazy. I said, God, dog, like, I'm actually helping people. I'm not take advantage of people. I'm actually helping people, and that was like my biggest concern. Like, I don't want to take advantage of people. I want to help people, and like getting feedback and responses from customers or audience members and customers and clients and so on and so forth. It clarifies that I'm not taking advantage of people. I'm just helping people of where I used to be, and that's my goal, is just to help. So the next one, we're on number 88. Start small, stay consistent, let time multiply your message. And this is from podcast Compound Growth Reports 2023. Page 89. Podcast isn't a production, it's a relationship. Podcast loyalty and engagement. Resources, podcast loyalty and engagement. What's that? Metrics 2023. Is in a relationship. There we go. All right, we're on 90. We got three more. Three more to go. 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 We started at 1. Now we at 95. And now we getting to the getting to the Alright, so most podcasts grow. Most podcast growth happens after episode 25. Stay in the game. This is Buzzsprout Retention Data 2023. Alright, well, for me, episode 25 was a while ago, and excuse me. Episode 25 was a while ago for me, because it took me some time to figure out what I was doing and how to go about doing it and how I can make a business from it. Nonetheless, it took me some time, because out the 893 podcast episodes, and I done grew a lot. Okay, I done grew a lot. And in the beginning of my journey, I stopped posting across podcast platforms, but I remain posting on YouTube. And so on YouTube, it has majority of all my podcasts, and then on the podcast platforms, it has like a percentage of it. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, for me, 25 wasn't it, but everyone's journey is completely different than the next. So I'm not gonna say your journey is gonna be like mine, because it took me over 893 podcast episodes to get to the point of me understanding how to serve and help more people. However, that's just the goal of it, to shorten the time that it's going to take for you to launch your podcast, to grow your podcast, and make money from your podcast. That is the whole purpose of this challenge. So that way, it doesn't take you a half a decade, 5 years, and do 893 podcast episodes to figure out how to make your podcast work for you and be more profitable over time. Podcast number, page number 91. There are 156,000 active weekly podcasts. You can join them today. There we go. All right. And then last one, if you ever felt behind, podcasting gives you a way to lead from your lessons. And this one's from Personal Development Creative Psychology 2023. '92. 92 different posts. Jeez Louise, that's crazy. There we go. Podcast ad. Okay, so that's done. Home. Let me. Alright, so do 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 do. Alright, so I got 93. Let me go ahead and label this podcast value social media posts. Social media posts. Okay. We got this. Move to folder. Right there. Okay. So I'm gonna come back to the screen right quick. Come back to the screen. So let's go over. Let's recap what this day consisted of. So far, the only thing we've done that we updated. Now we've created 95 different posts that focuses on podcasting, giving value by podcasting, the stats, the ratio, the information, the data, and so on and so forth. So that way, as I'm continuing to stay consistent, I'm not only posting about podcasting, I'm demonstrating like what can happen, or not necessarily what can happen, but just basic information in the podcast industry. And this is not going to only position me differently; it's going to help me help other podcasters launch their podcasts, grow their podcasts, and make more money from their podcasts because they have more confidence in themselves. And the space and the goal behind it is just to show what's possible based off me helping 100 podcasters launch their podcasts, grow their podcasts, and make money from their podcasts. And so we're gonna go over this is the recap for it because it's so important, so incredible to understand that we are going to hit the goal of making $100,000 within the next 90 days while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcasts, grow their podcasts, and make money from their podcasts. If you're interested in launching your podcast, growing your podcast, and making money from your podcast, shoot us a DM down below, shoot us a message, and we will get back to you to see where you are in your podcasting journey, to see how we can provide value to you. So this has been great. We've been live for over 2.5 hours. Tomorrow, what we are going to do, we're going to pick up from here. We're going to post 10 posts for the day, and then we're going to actually reach out to different people or reach out to different customers to actually ask them like, where have you ever thought about launching a podcast? Do you know somebody that is interested in launching your podcast? So I'm not going to burn myself out doing this 90-day challenge. My goal is to hit $100,000 to make while helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, and make money from their podcast. So day one of the third 90-day challenge to make $100,000 or growing a podcast business, helping 100 podcasters launch their podcast, grow their podcast, make money from their podcast has been great because we're taking it step by step. I'm not overwhelming myself, and I'm learning from everything that I've done based off the first challenge, then the second challenge, then the third challenge. We are going to accomplish this goal. So this is it for day one. Stay tuned for day two because we're going to get into it with the work of doing everything. So I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.